Hello YouTube, my name is Big Boy Snatcher on TV, aka Wakanda National, because I got plenty going around. This is my WWE Smackdown Rebellion highlights, as you can tell by the title, the thumbnail of the video. Make sure you guys please watch the video from all the way from the beginning. Hit that like button, subscribe to my channel for more best content I do on the channel. Go watch my AEW Dynamite review highlights I post on the channel. And that's all I gotta say from here. Alright, without further ado, let's get started, because I got a whole lot to say about this show. Now, WWE Smackdown was a bad show, and I give this show a 3.5 out of 10. Alright. It says, WWE Smackdown was live from Austin, Texas, Moody Center. WWE Smackdown kicks off with highlights of Survivor Series, that show was just solid to me, but it was just terrible. But let me take a sip of my water, please. All right. Live in the arena, we see Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss backstage, and we see Kairi Sane and Asuka walking backstage. The camera cuts to LA Knight entering the arena and to Gunther walking in the arena. Drew McIntyre walks out of a white truck, and Nick Aldis stops him with security. They argue, and Drew McIntyre says he won at War Games. He's not suspended. Nick Aldis tells him he is still suspended and to leave. Excuse me. Drew McIntyre says he will leave, but not for Nick Aldis, for the security, because he doesn't want to hurt them. He gets in the car, but in comes Cody Rhodes from the passenger side, and he hits Drew McIntyre, rakes him in the eyes. WWE security breaks it up, and they hold Cody Rhodes off as Drew McIntyre drives away. So we're still gonna get Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre feud. Are we done with this feud already? Can we just move on? Because the next feud I want to see is Cody Rhodes feud against Jacob Fatu, and that's all I gotta say for the WWE title. And I don't mind it. Sign me up to see that feud between Jacob Fatu and Cody Rhodes feud. And that's all I gotta say. Excuse me. Cody Rhodes leaves and walks towards the ring. As his music plays, Cody Rhodes tells Nick Aldis that he needs him to reinstate Drew McIntyre. He says that excuse me. He says that Drew McIntyre broke an unwritten rule of this sport when he broke into his truck where his wife sleep and his kid sleeps. He says Drew McIntyre is WWE resident's cockroach. Excuse me. The fans chant Cody. And he says what just happened might have been in a parking lot in a in a church in Drew's house, California, or over the Lone Star State. But it should be in a WWE ring. He tells Drew McIntyre that Drew has not beaten him, but he might be the only man to break him. Cody Rhodes says he will stomp him out, and he throws the microphone as Cody Rhodes' music plays. Excuse me. We cut to the back, and DIY have Axion's mask. Ciampa says he wants his title shot. Carmelo Hayes walks in front of them, and he tells Ciampa he might want to reschedule that because he has next. Alright. Let me take a sip of my water. I like that opening segment. Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes both did well, and I am all for them having another match. But Drew McIntyre has to win. Hashtag SmackDown. But we see this feud already between Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre. Can we move on to seeing Cody Rhodes feud against Jacob Fatu, please? And that's all I gotta say. I wouldn't even mind that feud. Alright, let me continue. Commercial break. Back from commercial, a Damian Priest video promo airs. He says that Aleister Black attacked him and brought his wife Selena by his side, but he has Rhea Ripley by his side. Rhea Ripley tells Damian Priest and Selena Vega that they poked the bear and she is there with him. Rhea says that next week it's her and Damian Priest against Aleister Black and Selena Vega. So they are still feuding. Why? Why are they still feuding? But it is what it is. All right, so we get the first match. WWE United States Championship Open Challenge. Ilya Dragunov versus Carmelo Hayes. Very good match, and that's all I gotta say. This was a very good match. I had to take a sip of my water. Anyway, the bell rings, we're underway. Carmelo Hayes with a headlock, but Ilya Dragunov throws him to the ropes. Ilya with a shoulder tackle, followed by a chop to the chest. Carmelo Hayes throws Ilya Dragunov in the corner, and Carmelo Hayes with chops to the chest. Carmelo Hayes throws Ilya Dragunov to the ropes, but Ilya Dragunov with a boot to the ace. Ilya Dragunov to the ropes, but Carmelo Hayes with a kick, and Ilya Dragunov falls onto the ring apron. Carmelo Hayes goes for a splash, but Ilya Dragunov with a chop to the chest. Ilya Dragunov gets in the ring, and he lands a boot to the face. Ilya Dragunov climbs the top rope, but Carmelo Hayes gets to his feet, and he throws Ilya down onto the mat. Carmelo Hayes climbs the second rope, but Ilya Dragunov to his feet, and he hits Carmelo Hayes with a right hand. Ilya Dragunov with a running kick to the face, and Carmelo Hayes falls to the outside of the ring. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial, Ilya Dragunov with a German suplex. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry, back from commercial break, Ilya Dragunov with a German suplex. He lifts Carmelo Hayes up, but Carmelo Hayes lands on his feet. Carmelo Hayes with a chop, but Ilya Dragunov with the right hand. Excuse me. Carmelo Hayes with a knee to the face, but Ilya Dragunov with a boot to the face. Ilya Dragunov goes for the constant special, but Carmelo Hayes ducks in. Carmelo Hayes with a springboard clothesline. Carmelo Hayes with a face buster, and he goes for the cover, but Ilya Dragunov kicks out. Excuse me. Carmelo Hayes goes for the first 48, but Ilya Dragunov catches him and lands a powerbomb. Ilya Dragunov goes for the H-bomb, but Carmelo Hayes gets his knees up. Carmelo Hayes goes for the cover, but Ilya Dragunov kicks out. Ilya Dragunov gets up and he lands a kick to the side of the head. Ilya Dragunov climbs the top rope, but Carmelo Hayes gets up and kicks Ilya Dragunov, and Ilya Dragunov falls to the outside of the ring. Ilya Dragunov gets back on the ring, and Carmelo Hayes jumps over the top rope and DDTs Ilya Dragunov onto the ring apron. He throws Ilya Dragunov into the barricade and back into the ring. Carmelo Hayes climbs the top rope, and with the referee distracted, out comes Tommaso Ciampa, who trips Carmelo Hayes up. Ilya Dragunov with a tornado Moscow in the H-bomb. He goes for the cover and gets the pin. The winner is still the United States champion, Ilya Dragunov. This was a good match, but Tommaso Ciampa cost Carmelo Hayes for the Tommaso Ciampa cost Carmelo Hayes for the WWE United States Championship. So Carmelo Hayes, you better go get your get back against Tommaso Ciampa, because Tommaso Ciampa cost you the United States Championship, and that's all I gotta say. After the match, Ilya Dragunov sees the replay and he is angry that Ciampa got involved. Alright. Excuse me. We cut to the back and Kathy Kelly's with Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. Charlotte Flair tells her that she joined War Games because Alexa Bliss needed her. She means a lot to Alexa Bliss. She says Alexa Bliss will be lost without her. Alexa Bliss says they are proud of Charlotte Flair. Excuse me. War Games was good for her. Charlotte Flair says they are back to win the tag team championships. A fun match between Ilya Dragunov and Carmelo Hayes. I like what they are doing, having Ciampa go after the title, but I just don't think it should be Ciampa. The guy is in a tag team, and unless they want to break up DIY, I just don't think this works. Hashtag Smackdown. Why would WWE break up DIY? If that happens, that would be so stupid for WWE to break up DIY. And let me take a sip of my water. So we go to commercial break. Highlights of the last time is now tournament airs. We cut to Captain Kelly, who is backstage with LA Knight. He tells her that he doesn't want to repeat himself too much, but he said it before. As far as dream opponents, he doesn't care. But if he beats John Cena, he 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 cement he cements his legacy. But there is one person standing in his way. He says last time is now for him and Gunther. He says Gunther is a former Intercontinental Champion and former World Champion, but he is an unstoppable force. Something Gunther has never seen before, and something he is not ready for. He says if Gunther wants a fight, he will die. He will ride. I'm sorry. He will get dropped on his head like all the rest with. Excuse me. He will get dropped on his head like all the rest with everybody saying L.A. Knight. Yeah, L.A. Knight walks away, and we cut to the ring. So L.A. Knight was doing all this talking until LA Knight tap out to Gunther, and that's all I gotta say. But Gunther did beat LA Knight. All right, next match. So we get Kairi Sane accompanied by Asuka versus Alexa Bliss accompanied by Charlotte Flair. And this match right here, this match was okay for what it was, but I'm glad Alexa Bliss won. Excuse me. The bell rings. We are on the way. Kairi Sane gets Alexa Bliss in the corner and hits her with their right hands. Kairi Sane to the ropes, and she goes for a sunset flip cover, but Alexa Bliss reverses in. Kairi Sane kicks out. Kairi Sane with a slap to the face. Kairi Sane taps Alexa Bliss on the head, and Alexa Bliss slaps her. Alexa Bliss trips Kairi Sane up and land a senton. Kairi Sane rolls to the outside of the ring. Alexa Bliss goes on the ring apron, and the referee is distracted by Kairi Sane as Asuka trips Alexa Bliss up. Kairi Sane throws Alexa Bliss into the barricade. Excuse me. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial, Kairi Sane is on a top rope, but Alexa Bliss with right hands. Alexa Bliss climbs to the second rope, but Kairi Sane with right hands, and Alexa Bliss is in a trio roll. Kairi Sane with a double stomp. She goes for the cover, but Alexa Bliss kicks out. Kairi Sane goes for a sliding elbow, but Alexa Bliss moves out of the way. And Kairi Sane hits the bottom turnbuckle. Kairi Sane with right hands and a chop and a drop kick. Kairi Sane to the ropes, and she lands a natural selection. Kairi Sane goes for Sister Abigail, but Asuka gets on the ring apron that distracts Alexa Bliss. Kairi Sane goes for the cover, but Alexa Bliss kicks out. Charlotte Flair trips Asuka up and hits her with a big boot. Kairi Sane with right hand onto Alexa Bliss. She climbs the top rope and goes for the insane elbow, but Alexa Bliss gets on her feet and catches her. She hits her with Sister Abigail. Alexa Bliss goes for the cover and gets the pin. The winner of the match, Alexa Bliss. This match was okay match for what it was, but in my honest opinion, Julia is way better than Kairi Sane. So what really bothers me? They showed the women's in the trailer for WrestleMania 42. Why y'all didn't put Stephanie McCurry in the trailer? That is so disrespectful by WWE. Cause Stephanie McCurry beat Io Sky for the Women's World Championship. So y'all not gonna put Stephanie McCurry in the trailer for WrestleMania 42? That is so disrespectful, WWE. But anyway, it says out comes Nia Jax and Lash Legend. They hit Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss from behind. Lash Legend with their right hand onto Alexa Bliss, and Nia Jax with a Samoan drop onto Charlotte Flair. Kairi Sane is down in the corner, but in comes Asuka from behind. She hits Nia Jax with a backhand and Asuka with a backhand and a kick onto Lash Legend. Asuka runs towards Nia Jax, but Nia Jax slams her down. Kairi Sane jumps onto Nia Jax's back, but Nia Jax throws her onto the mat. She gets up and Lash Legend with a big boot onto Kairi Sane. Nia Jax climbs the second rope, but Asuka grabs Kairi Sane to the outside of the ring. Nia Jax and Lash Legend hold up the women's tag team champions. We cut to the back, and Nick Aldis is with Cody Rhodes. Nick Aldis asks Cody Rhodes if he is ready to do this, and he says he is. They walk into Nick Aldis' office, and Nova Family is there with Ricky Saints. They ask Nick why they are in his office. He says it all will be revealed, just not by him. Cody Rhodes shakes their hands. Cody Rhodes says next week at Saturday night's main event, whoever wins, excuse me. I'm sorry, what was I? Cody Rhodes shakes their hands. Cody Rhodes says next week at Saturday night's main event, whoever wins tomorrow at NXT Deadline will wrestle him at Saturday night's main event. Cody Rhodes tells them good luck and walks away. Not a great match between Alexa Bliss and Kairi Sane. They didn't have chemistry in there, but the attack from Nia Jax and Lash Legend after was nice. They are doing well with the women's tag team title division. Hashtag Smackdown. The women's division on Smackdown is god awful, and that's all I gotta say. Let me take a sip of my water before I continue. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial, Nia Jax and Lash Legend are backstage. Captain Kelly asked them if their attacks was necessary. Nia Jax says they deserve it. Lash Legend says they are coming after the women's tag team championships, and there is nothing any of the teams can do about it. Excuse me. So we get the next match: Jade Cargill versus Alpha Fire, coming by Chelsea Green. This was a squash match. The bell rings were underway. Chelsea Green is on the ring apron with her 2 championships, and she is talking to Jade Cargill. Alpha Fire with a drop kick and right hands. Alpha Fire lands at her command. She goes for a tornado DDT, but Jade pushes her away. Alpha Fire lands on her feet, and she hits Jade with a right hand. Excuse me. Jade Cargill leans onto the second rope, and Chelsea Green with the right hand, with the referee distracted. Out comes Julia and Kiana James. Julia with right hands onto Chelsea Green. That distracts Alpha Fire. She turns around, and Jade Cargill with a spine buster, followed by a big kick. Jade with the Jade. She goes for the cover and gets the pin. The winner of the match, Jade Cargill. This was a squash match for what it was. Alright, we cut to the back, and Fast and Mara with Nick Aldis. Excuse me. They tell Nick Aldis that they cannot stand DIY, and they ask for a match against him. Axiom says he stole his mask, but in comes Ilya Dragunov. He says if that is begging for attention, he has it. He tells Nick Aldis that he wants the match. Nick Aldis makes the match for next week, and Ilya Dragunov says after he has him, Faction can have what is left of him. Dragunov turns around, and he is face to face with the MLT. Solo Sikoa tells them to walk away. Not a bad match between Jade Cargill and Alpha Fire. They have done well with Jade Cargill. Recently, Alpha Fire lost, but did not look bad as she was in control, and it was because Chelsea Green got attacked. Hashtag Smackdown. That match itself between Jade Cargill and Alpha Fire, that was just a squash match, and that's all I gotta say. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial, Jade Cargill is walking backstage, and she passed B-Fab. She tells B-Fab that she saw what she did to Alpha Fire, and asks her if it reminds her of something. It comes mentioned with the kendo stick. Jade Cargill mentioned a lapdog, but Mi Chen says she is B-Fab's friend. Jade Cargill says she will talk to Nick Aldis, and that Mi Chen will step up and get stepped on. Excuse me. Yeah, it's a wraps. It's a wraps because Jade Cargill's going to beat Mitchin next week. It's a wraps for Mitchin. This is the funny part of the segment. Soul's called Music Kids, and now comes Solos and the MFTs. Solo says he told everyone that they were going to handle the semi-sane problem, and that is what they did. He says he and his family can finally move forward, which brings him to the Wise Six and Uncle Howdy. He says they have been watching the Wise too. He says his name is Solo Sokoa. This is his ring. This is his show. And this is his family tree. He says Uncle Howdy's family has something that belongs to his family. The tag team titles. He says you hurt him and you hurt him and his family, he's going to hurt Uncle Howdy. They tells Uncle Howdy everything. The Bray Wyatts, the Bray Wyatts and Solo points to the sky. He says that it's now Uncle Howdy. He will become his. He says he will take everything away from him. Everything he loves at the memories, and he will show everyone that he does not deserve the name right. Alright, excuse me. So Sokoa says he will take it away because he can. All he has to do is believe. That part was funny. So Sokoa throws the microphone in his music's hits as the MIT leads the ring. This was the funniest segment I have ever seen, bro. So that's all I gotta say. Alright. The lights go out in the arena, and when they come back, Solo is alone in the ring, and the Riots are on the ring apron. He turns around and he is face to face with Uncle Howdy. Excuse me. The MIT gets on the ring apron. The Wyatt family with their right hands and Solo with their right hand. Both teams get in the ring and begin to fight. Tala Tonga and Eric Rowan are in the ring face to face. Both men with right hands and Tala Tonga with their big boot onto Eric Rowan. But Eric Rowan with their big boot onto Tala Tonga, and Tala Tonga falls to the outside of the ring. So Sokoa holds the MIT's back. So we cut to backstage, and the Miz is with Nick Aldis. The Miz says he beats John Cena at WrestleMania. He should be John Cena's final opponent. Excuse me. Nick Aldis says he's not even on the show. He says not just anyone can be booked on Saturday Night's Main Event. In comes Bayley, who thanks Nick Aldis for being booked on Saturday Night's Main Event. Miz says unbelievable and walks away. Nick Aldis says her match is against someone from NXT, and the door knocks. In comes Saruka, and Nick Aldis walks away. Bayley says things are different on Raw and SmackDown. Saruka says she knows. In my honest opinion, give me Bayley versus Saruka, and that's all I gotta say. Sign me up to see that match. But one thing I gotta say before I continue, Saruka has that dog in her, cause she's very good in the ring. And that's like me saying Javon Evans is the future of the WWE, and Javon Evans has that dog within him. And that's all I gotta say. That's nothing but facts. It says, we cut to Captain Kelly with Gunther. He tells her that it does not matter it does not matter where you live, what language you speak. The name Ring General Gunther translate to victory. To victory. He says he will beat LA Knight, and he will beat John Cena in his final match. And he is aware there is a whole locker room of passionate and hungry superstars, but he condolence to them because this tournament is foregone conclusion. He tells John Cena they know that they cannot see John Cena, but he is certain that John Cena can see him. He wants John Cena to watch and pay attention, not to the fact that he will be LA Knight, but to how he will be LA Knight. I just don't want John Cena to lose to Gunther. Like I said, if John Cena loses to Gunther, everybody's going to be upset. But if John Cena beats Gunther, now that's something to be accomplished. I'll be happy if John Cena beats Gunther. But I just don't want John Cena to lose to Gunther. Just like, y'all remember when Goldberg lost to Gunther at Saturday Night's Main Event, and Goldberg cuts a final segment, and until Saturday Night's Main Event cut off Goldberg. They're gonna do the exact same thing to John Cena. When, like, for example, when John Cena loses to Gunther and John Cena comes final segment, I guarantee that Saturday night's main event will go up there and they're gonna call John Cena's speech. But I hope that doesn't happen. And that's all I gotta say. It says we cut to Captain Kelly with Gunther. He tells that it does not matter where you live and what language you speak. The name Ring General Gunther translates to victory. He says he will beat LA Knight and he will beat John Cena in his final match. And he is aware that it's a whole locker room of passionate and hungry superstars, but the condolence to them because this tournament it's a foregone conclusion. He tells John Cena they know what they cannot see John Cena, but he is certain that Cena can see him. He wants John Cena to watch and pay attention, not the facts that he will beat LA Knight, but to know he will be LA Knight. Alright, let's move on. Commercial break. And Alistair Black promo airs and he talks about Damian Priest. So we get the main event of the evening. So we get the last time is now the winner faces John Cena, LA Knight versus Gunther. This was I might as well say, this was a decent main event, but I want to say this was a good match at the same time. But like I said, good match, but it had a decent ending. That's it. That's all I gotta say. All right. The bell rings and Gunther. I'm sorry. The bell rings. We are underway. Gunther pushes LA Knight, but LA Knight with their right hands. Gunther with a chop to the chest, and he goes for a powerbomb, but LA Knight with a back body drop. LA Knight goes for a BFT, but Gunther rolls to the outside of the ring. LA Knight with the baseball slide. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial, Gunther with right hands, but LA Knight trips Gunther. He goes for an elbow, but Gunther moves out of the way. Gunther slams LA Knight into the turnbuckle. Gunther with an armbar, followed by a chop to the chest. Gunther goes for another chop, but LA Knight kicks. LA Knight does, and LA Knight with a flying clothesline. A neck breaker by LA Knight, and he goes for a BFT, but Gunther grabs him. Gunther with a waist lock, but LA Knight with an elbow to the face. LA Knight rolls Gunther up, but Gunther kicks out. He reverses it into a sleeper, but LA Knight reverses that into a cover, but Gunther kicks out. LA Knight with the AA, followed by a burning hammer. He goes for the cover, but Gunther kicks out. Back from commercial, LA Knight with a chop and Gunther with a chop. LA Knight with kicks in the corner, followed by a running knee to the face. He goes for another running knee, but Gunther gets up and goes for a sleeper, but LA Knight with a back suplex. LA Knight climbs the second rope. Second rope leaps onto the third and jumps, but Gunther moves out of the way. LA Knight lands on his feet. Gunther with a drop kick. He grabs LA Knight, but LA Knight with a DDT. LA Knight goes on the second rope and leaps onto the third, and he lands the elbow drop. He goes for the cover, but but Gunther kicks out. LA Knight goes for a BLT, but Gunther hits him with a German suplex. Gunther twists LA Knight's neck. He grabs LA Knight and hits him with a clothesline. Gunther climbs the top rope, but LA Knight gets to his feet. LA Knight with a right hand, and he climbs up the top rope. LA Knight goes for a superplex, but Gunther pushes him down. Gunther with a splash off the top rope. Gunther climbs the top rope and he lands a splash. He goes for the cover, but LA Knight kicks out. Gunther with a powerbomb. He goes for the cover, but LA Knight kicks out. Gunther goes for the sleeper, but LA Knight hits him with the BFT. He goes for the cover, but Gunther gets up, gets his feet on the bottom rope. LA Knight is holding his knee, and Gunther gets in the timekeeper's area. Gunther with an elbow to the face. Timekeeper, where was I? LA Knight is holding his knee, and Gunther gets him in the sleeper. Gunther with elbows to the face, and he gets LA Knight in the sleeper. LA Knight tries to get out of it, and he gets to his feet. LA Knight gets out of it, but LA Knight with elbows. Gunther with a modified crossface, but LA Knight taps out. the winner of the match, the winner of the match goes to, so LA Knight tapped out to Gunther. That makes it look bad for LA Knight, and LA Knight's officially buried. So LA Knight just tapped out to Gunther, which is a L on LA Knight. So LA Knight once again did all this talking until LA Knight tapped out to Gunther. So as I was said, Gunther versus John Cena would not be main event. It's gonna be the first match that started off on Saturday night's main event. But like I said, um, let me give my honest opinion. It says some fans boo as SmackDown goes off the air. A good main event that really made LA Knight look strong, and the reaction from the fans in the arena is that they wanted him to win. Gunther getting him to the top rope, and it was interesting, but Gunther would be John Cena's final opponent. Hashtag SmackDown. And that's all I gotta say. It says a fun SmackDown. We got Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre going matches are announced for Saturday night's main event, and a solid main event. Alright, let me give my honest opinion what I think about WWE Smackdown. Now WWE Smackdown was a bad show, and I give that show a 3.5 out of 10. And that's all I gotta say from here. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoy my WWE. If you guys enjoy my WWE SmackDown review on highlights, make sure you guys please watch the video from all the way from the beginning all the way towards the end. Give this video at least 30 likes. Comment down below what you guys think of SmackDown, because it was a bad show, and I give that show a 3.5 out of 10. Go check out my AEW Dynamite review on highlights, and also go check out my WWE NXT review on highlights that I did on the channel. Alright. And also go check out my WWE Raw review on highlights that I also did on the channel as well. And if not, go check out my WWE War Games review on highlights as well too. But that's all I gotta say from here. Alright, I want you guys to have a great night. Stay safe and always stay positive. Kept your crew, kept your kings, kept your club. Too sweet. I'm out of here. Gang. Mwah. Bang. Too sweet. Gang. And thank you guys so much for coming out to my double live stream on Twitch. I play Fortnite for 6 hours, and I play retro games for 4 hours. And shout out to my boy TNO Crew for rating me twice, just like I rated TNO Crew twice. So yeah, shout out to Hey Danny, shout out to Serene for doing a 24-hour live stream, and shout out to my boy Showstopper TV for going live on YouTube. His live stream is way entertaining than SmackDown tonight. His Wild Style Wednesday is way better than SmackDown, and that's all I gotta say from here. Just like me saying, NXT Deadline is going to be way better than Raw, SmackDown, and NXT and War Games combined together. So NXT Deadline is going to be way better than War Games, SmackDown, Raw, and NXT combined together. And that's all I gotta say. Say what you want to say down below in the comments. That's just my opinion. That's all I gotta say, because everybody has the right to title their own opinion, but as long as you respect my opinion, I'm going to turn around and respect your opinion. So that's all I gotta say from here. But I'll see you guys tonight on my upcoming world premiere for my WWE Smackdown review on highlights at around 5:00 a.m. So make sure you guys come to my my world premiere in my chat. I don't care who's the first two. I don't care. It could be anybody that's gonna be in my chat for my world premiere. It can be, I already know see Venus Unicorn gonna show up. She's gonna be the first one. Then my boy Tony Skittles is gonna show up as well. So shout out to St. Venus Unicorn. Shout out to my boy Tony Skittles. And that's all I gotta say. Shout out to everybody that tuned into my WWE Smackdown review on highlights. I have a whole lot to say about the show, but once again, WWE Smackdown was a bad show, and I give that show a 3.5 out of 10. And that's all I gotta say. Enough of me yapping. I'm about to go edit this video, and I'm gonna premiere it, and I'm gonna set it to as premiere. Have a great night. Stay safe and always stay positive. Kept your crew, kept your kings, kept your club. Too sweet. I'm out of here. Gang. Mwah. Bang. Too sweet. Gang.